after they jumped forward 5 years, and apparently she was about to get married to Sheen. Now Sheen, knowing fully well that Lili is still in love with Kit, or at least was very much in love with Kit, he understands, I think, to some extent, that this is not a love match, that this would be a marriage of convenience. And
I can't lie, I did love it, even though at times I hated it. Because literally in the last couple of episodes, Lili had 246 chances to tell Kit how she feels about him, and she ruined it every freaking time. She either yelled at him, hit him, or started spouting off unnecessary nonsense for the moment. If a man is pulling away on a boat, if the boat is taking off and you're literally having to run down the dock, now is the time just to say those simple 3 words. Let him hear, I love you. Don't keep screaming about a fucking pinky promise. It's just ain't the time. We're at war. Say what you need to say.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about Love Through Prism, a Netflix original series that had 20 episodes. This series is about a Japanese exchange student going to London, England in the 1900s. And she goes to the St. Thomas Academy, a prestigious art school, where she meets Kit Church, which is a high-ranking aristocrat who is known for his beautiful artwork. This anime feels like it's trying to be Snow White and the Red Hair in ways where it wants to be a slice of life and very wholesome, but then it sets up storylines for drama and never really follows through with it.
Child. Anyway, so
let's talk about the characters. Jeffrey O'Brien is a drunk and a low-rate aristocrat. Peter Anthony is a second-rate artist who feels insecure about his art. Sakura Kobayakawa is a mute. Chinosuke Kobayakawa plays as kind of like, is another Japanese exchange student going to St. Thomas, and he does sculpting. Hi! Dorothy Brown is the best friend to our lead, Lili Ichijoen. Catherine Astor, however way you say it, an aristocratic heiress, and she is the fiance of our main lead, which is Kit Church, or Christopher Kit Church. Very talented artist who's an aristocrat and is a part of the Church family, which is a very powerful family. Lili Ichijoen is our main character, our protagonist. She is very good at drawing. Her paintings are very nice, but she gets somewhat bullied, and that's about it. So the story goes that Lili Ichijoen will be going to the St. Thomas Academy, but she has 6 months to be number 1. And that is something that she agreed with her mother on. We deal with the 3 S's, Sarah, Stella, and Shirley from the St. Thomas Academy. They're kind of used to play for laughs as the quote-unquote mean girls. They're not really interesting in any way. They're very cookie cutter in a lot of ways. They don't really matter to the plot of whatever the story is trying to convey. By episode 4, Kit and Lili are bonding. They're getting to know each other. Lili is showing him how to use a kayatate, a writing utensil from Japan. I'm sorry if I butchered that. By episode 6, Lili and the gang are going to the Kit Church estate, where they're invited to a gala. Lili did not prepare correctly and did not have anything to wear, so Kit decides that she can wear the Silver Lily dress, which was something his mother wore when she was alive for major events as of the gala. Animation's beautiful, the dress is gorgeous, the scene plays very nicely, though I will say it's short-lived in a lot of ways, and it doesn't do any good to really hold on to that good feeling we get. Because she feels embarrassed because Richard Church antagonized Catherine, and Catherine and Richard Church go and antagonize Kit and Lili.
Lili, you can't. Please, wait.
Leave me alone!
And Lili feels embarrassed and takes it out on Kit. This happens a lot.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
By episode 8, Catherine is now pissed, right? She is not happy that her fiance has now gone and basically showed to her that he doesn't like her, doesn't feel anything for her, and disrespected her as she feels cheated on. Or not even cheated on, she feels like she got the short end of the stick, honestly. So she confronts them. She confronts Kit and asks him point blank, "Do you love Lili?" And he says, yes. Lili hears this and runs away. Some shenanigans happens, and then Catherine goes to Lili's house and asks her point blank if she loves Kit. Her incoherent, jagged way does say that she does love him. So Catherine now has to deal with the fact that her fiance has feelings for another woman, and that other woman also has feelings for him. But it doesn't go anywhere, so let's just keep going. By episode 11, Lili and Catherine start to bond. They have this really beautiful dress-up scene together, and Catherine is so passionate about her fashion and design and fabrics, and Lili encourages her to continue doing it, and I think that was a very sweet thing she did. And what we get is we get a really nice moment with them. They even hug. She even shows her how to wear a yuzen, a kimono. Yeah, by episode 10, she is showing Catherine how to wear a yuzen. Lili, of course, before this, slaps Kit because she feels called out by him, even though he wasn't really calling her out. And she feels bad, which of course she should feel bad.
Ass around and get the fuck back to your fucking seat. The fuck is wrong with your ashy ass?
I don't get why she did this. I'll go further on why I don't like this character. By episode 12, we get my favorite trope, which is the main leads taking care of each other. One is sick with a cold and the other takes care of them. I wish they really took it home with it and really done something with it, but we get crowns a lot in this series, so that was a nice thing. I do enjoy that. Kit tells Lili that her paintings reflect hope, and Kit loves her paintings. I think that was sweet. She gets to become first by technicality because she essentially did do the task of the topic of the topic free. So yeah, she can stay in England because she made it to number 1, albeit it had to take Kit's help and arguing the fact that she did do the task. Professor Brandt grants it because of her beautiful sketchbook.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's weird.
By episode 15, Kit is leaving the school to go overseas and tells Professor and Shin. By episode 17, Catherine and the gang tell her to confess her feelings to Kit. She runs to the boat and, determined to tell how she feels, Lili calls him a fool. And
Don't do it. Don't do it.
The boat is off because she can never do the one task that she needs to do. Frustrating. Okay, so we are now at episode 18. There's a time jump. Lili is engaged with Shin. Lili got a letter from Dorothy saying Kit's ship went down because of a storm at sea. He is believed to be dead. The year is 1919. Lili no longer paints anymore. Shin no longer does sculptures anymore. The world is colorless. Sakura can now speak, which we could have seen how that happened. Shin gets a letter that he can go to Italy, but he won't leave Lili and decides to stay. Catherine is thriving with her fashion business. She puts every letter she gets from her England life in a little box. Lili notices a woman in a silver lily dress and faints. Shin asks the shopkeepers who it was that brought this painting. They say a tall, blonde, handsome man. By episode 19, the world is still colorless. Lili is remembering Kit and their memories and the last things she said to him. The only time we're able to see colors when she's thinking about England. Shin and Lili go looking for Kit. Her memories with Kit are in color. Lili falls again, and she notices a familiar voice teasing her, and when the firework goes off, we see his blue eyes and blonde hair indicating that color is coming back. At least she sees color when she sees Kit. She is by now 25 years old, Lili, and she is shocked to see Kit, and she slaps him.
Lili, hold on, please wait. Just calm down.
But in the dub, it says that she punched him, so that's crazy. She's 25 and she's like that. I'm 28 and that's insane to me. I'm literally 3 years older than her and that's just crazy to me. But I will go on about Lili later. Wish we got to see everyone coping with the war. I wish it was more kind of like how Howl's Moving Castle does it. In Howl's Moving Castle, the war is a backdrop and it really comes to a head towards the end of the movie. And I wish we got more of that. We could have seen where everyone went after the academy, where everyone's life was going, how did everyone cope with the war. Instead of getting random stills of the drawings of Kit and his excursions, we got to actually see in animation what was going on, what was he doing, what was everyone in the gang doing. That would have been really cool to see. By episode 20, she is painting again. She sees color again, and she goes back to England and opens up a kimono shop, the London branch. There's another jump, a 1-year jump. Lili is now back in England. She's about 26. She cuts her hair. Like I said, opens up a kimono shop with Catherine. Kit is, I believe, was in Greece around this time. He's just traveling the world, following his father's footsteps of traveling. Lili visits Professor Brandt, the landlady, and Dorothy. Dorothy now has a bunch of kids. She's thriving in her marriage and Coswald's life. Again, wish we could have seen that. We get another jump, a 6-month jump this time. Lili is maybe 27 years old. We never really know when her birthday is. She goes to the beach where she made her forever promise with Kit. Kit goes to the beach and sees her. And this is where we get the confession scene. A really beautiful scene. Finally, they are able to communicate their feelings. So he says that all these beautiful landscapes were missing something. And I quote, "A raven-haired, stubborn, food-loving drama queen isn't here at my side." She again struggles with her words, but she finally voices out her feelings as she says the world without Kit is a world without color.
Kit, you're the reason I'm here.
And then they kiss each other.
Oh my God! Wow!
And we get another time jump 2 years later. Lily is typically be about like 29 years old, so maybe a year older than me at this point. We pan to Jeffrey's pub. Everyone but Kit and Lily are there. They are apparently traveling to Asia from what Dorothy tells us. And they are here together, and he grabs her hand. They begin to draw and smile. The wind blows and Kit is at awe, and then it pans to the painting of Lily and the lilies in the cave with the wind. That's it. The side note is I am a dub watcher, but I do prefer this anime in subtitled. I don't know why they voiced actors with English accents for the Japanese characters. It makes no sense. Wouldn't it make sense to have them have like a heavy Asian accent since they are Asian and they are visitors of England? That to me would have made more sense. It just felt off-putting in a lot of ways. I don't like the character design. The little droopy eyes made it look like everyone was high off of Mary Jane. Really weird character design. It was another off-putting thing to me. I just didn't like it. That the creators feel like they're going through the motions of an anime, but it feels weird. It's like they've never seen an anime before and it feels formulaic, and it just didn't feel like, it felt like someone who's never created an anime or watched anime before created an anime. There was 4 time jumps. The excessiveness of the time jumps to me felt like a problem. It felt unnecessary. Like, why couldn't we see what the other characters were doing? Why couldn't we have changed point of views? We could have really used this time to make it very art focused and show how the artists respond to the war, to the changes in their lives, and really seeing how it could have centered around that. I don't like how violent and aggressive Lily got with Kit. Slapping him at the pub, slapping him again 5 years later. Like, all she knows how to do is hit him, and it's supposed to be played for laughs, like for gags, but it felt wholly unnecessary, and it did not shine a good light on her at all. Like, I wish we could have gotten an inner monologue with her and Kit and all the other characters so we could have actually known what their thought process was. I don't understand why they never used that as a good plot device, as a good storytelling device, because it could have really progressed the characters. It could have really helped with the character development, because the only character we truly see character development is Catherine, because Catherine first comes off as this jealous aristocratic fiance to someone who becomes really good friends with the whole gang, and we get to see how that slowly becomes a thing. Why didn't we get that with Lily, with Kit, with all the other people in the game? It just felt like there were so many characters, but none of them really got to see growth other than Catherine, or really Catherine and Lily's relationship. Catherine, Lily, and Kit's relationship, honestly. We really got to see the real growth in it. And it just seems really sad at the end of the day. Given that this show really likes to use drama, right? Like, it's a dramatized love story. At least that's what it wants to be. And it does comedy so badly. I did not like the comedy at all. At least in the dub, it just didn't land well. It felt super forced and inauthentic. And that really goes down back to the writing of it, in my honest opinion. The gold rose and the silver lily dress, I really would have loved to see that showcase. And because we have Catherine who loves fashion, we could really showcase the fabrics, the textures, the importance it is for both of these sons to have a woman dressed in this for special events, like they say in the actual show. It would have been nice to see that coming from, and having like a voiceover or Catherine explain the significance of it more thoroughly. There's so many drama plot points we really could have gotten into. Like I said, the dresses, The Slap at the Pub, The Big Brother, The Saddest Differences, and Catherine. They all could have played a really important part. The one that they did really well on is Catherine. Catherine, they did really well of introducing her, how she confronts both of them, how she accepts it, and how she becomes friends for both of them. That to me is true character growth, and she's the only one we get to see that happen to. It would have been nice to see the saddest differences of Lili and Kit, kind of like in Gossip Girl they did. We are from two different worlds.
Beatrice, you don't understand. You're right. I don't understand.
They could have done it here too. And they could have really played up the saddest differences. They could have really played up the big brother, Richard, as a really good antagonist, as someone who's hopefully against their relationship and how they have to struggle with the fact that they're dealing with cultural differences and status differences. And it could have really, they could have really gone into it more in the storytelling, and we could have used that as a really good character development instead of all the time jumps. The slap at the pub, the way it happens, and she's telling everyone she feels so guilty about it, but never tells him, was frustrating. Catherine, Lili never communicating things clearly and choosing violence all the time was just a straight up red flag to me. And it's shocking to me because people in the anime fandom really hate Kagome and call her abusive because she tells a half dog demon to sit. Even though it's played for gags, you know, the beats of subjugation is almost like a collar. You tell him to sit. Sit! And in context, it makes sense because he's more powerful than her. And it's a good way to keep him in line. It's a good way to train him because he's a dog demon. At least a half dog demon, and he has a lot of strength. But people hate Kagome for that. Even though she's 15 years old and she's in feudal Japan and she has to deal with the very violent at times half dog demon and fight other demons to try to get the Shinkon jewel. Like, in context, it makes sense. And in a lot of ways, it does play for gags, but it's funny. The joke actually lands. Not here. The joke in Love Through a Prism is that she can't communicate her feelings, so she chooses violence, and she consistently hits him. And we're supposed to be like, oh, she's 20 years old. Oh, she's 25 years old. Women. She chose violence today. It's not funny. It doesn't ever land well. It shines a really terrible light on her. She seems like the most unlikable main character, and the fact that she's a protagonist is shocking to me because we never ever get to see any character development because it goes jump, 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 jump. Instead, we could have used, instead of those jumps, like I said, the inner monologue of her kind of figuring out her emotions, figuring out how to deal with them, why she chose to get engaged with Shin. We could have gotten like an inner dialogue. Well, I chose to say yes to this engagement, even though I still have feelings for Kit because Kit is dead and I would have loved to be with him. It would have been nice. Like, I do love when they go colorless, but it would have been nice, like, if she opened up the letter. She opened up the letter, right? And it says, "Dear Lili, Kit's ship has sank. He is believed to be dead." And as she's reading this, the world gradually gets colorless. That would have been nice to see. And then as she tries to paint to cope with the fact that she lost Kit and the way she left things with him and the guilt she deals with it, she tries to paint. She gets a brush, right? goes to a blank canvas and tries to paint, but she can't. She can't do it. And she's like, why can't I do it? You know what I mean? Like, we could have gotten more. And we should have gotten more. But the fact that we didn't get more just shows how lazy the writing is. The overly dependence on the time jumps, which a time jump here and there is fine. 4 is actually insane to me. The only character we see any true character growth is Catherine, and she's not even a main character. So clearly the writing is just inverted in a lot of ways. And it's just, this is where we're at. Now I'm going to stop talking about how I feel about it. Let's go to our experts, our intellectuals on Reddit. Because I actually agree with a lot of them. Though they're way more charitable than I am. I am not being as charitable, but I will explain why in a second. So this person says, I'm so overwhelmed by this damned series, specifically the ending. I can't emotionally digest their inability to communicate their goddamn emotions. Chasing after boats, crying in churches, Kit holding Lili's effing boat ticket as he's leaving. I'm just sobbing still. And the ending is so unsatisfying. A peck and then a kiss, then hands up to the sky. Confess, cry, embrace. Just give me something that feels like an appropriate climax to the reunion after 20 episodes of builds. I can't. In retrospect, I should have paced watching the episodes rather than binging them all at once and not processing my own emotions after each one. But after the episode where he leaves her behind again in Japan, I don't know if I would really have ever continued it from my heart just shattering. The show being centered around art really inspired me to paint again, so I felt so attached to it. It being itself animated art, having this unsatisfying reunion, I feel so drained and depressed. Another person says, while overall it was a good anime, I felt like some of the moments should have been drawn out, more emotions. Like when Lili saw Kit being alive after a war, she just slapped the heck out of him. Wouldn't one react with more mixed emotions of happiness, relief, anger, all at the same time? Sure, slap him, but fall on your knees crying or hug him. He's alive. Or even Kit not taking Lili with him from Japan. Wouldn't all his near-death experiences make him realize that life is too short to let someone go? Or at least communicate it. If she chooses not to go, then at least you said it. Another person said, I don't know, so much drama and lack of attention of 2 second characters. Like, they didn't even show Joffrey at the end, and I hate how Dorothy actually loved him but still chooses the safer option. Kinda sad. I hate how she kept on running after him, and everyone's like, tell your feelings, like, why he doesn't do it too. Also, like, I didn't like that they focused more on drama than the actual art. This person says, why don't they both know how to communicate their feelings and just talk? I'm also sad Kit and Lili did not have that much interaction or screen time to see their love develop and get closer in the later episodes. If you thought someone was dead and they come back to your life and you had unsaid feelings and words, I would never let them go again. It's so frustrating. Like, love each other already. Like, why aren't they fighting a view with each other and just letting things just flow on their own? Like, go get the love of your life. I just wish they had more episodes to finally being together or talking about their feelings. Even with the ending credit scene, I feel like the last episode was rushed. This person says, like, look, the professor, his ex-fiance, your whole friend group is already egging you to confess to your beloved, and yet when she finds him in the church, she doesn't say it. Instead, she says a lot of hurtful words, and he feels sad about it and leaves. She goes, wait, and just stands there. Like, dude, there's a thing called running, and you have been doing that multiple times. I'm sure you can do that too, instead of pretending he's some sort of Olympic track athlete level god of disappearing. Also felt the same frustration when she didn't say what she felt when he was leaving already, as in Catherine was already coaching her. I liked it, especially the scenes where the main focus was art. When it wasn't, it was okay. Like, characters could have had more characterization, and it was kind of tropey, which isn't inherently bad, but I feel like the tropes weren't utilized best. Not the worst, but not the best. For the characterization aspect, I felt like we didn't know the characters enough, and because of that, it was hard for me to believe that the two MCs first realized they were in love with each other. Like, huh? And you just met and barely know each other. Their interactions were pretty stiff at that point, in my opinion, which isn't bad and can be built upon, but it wasn't really, and for that reason, I felt more attached to Shin. Then Kit, which really sucked because Kit is the male lead. Honestly, I felt more connection with Catherine and Lili than anyone else, and I wish they handled the other characters like they handled Catherine. Dorothy and Lili had a sweet friendship too, though. I think the problem comes in with the time skips. Like, in the beginning, suddenly 6 months pass, which would have had a lot of interactions we missed between the leads. Oh, and the fact that suddenly Peter disappears and comes back feeling better. And we never get to see that struggle minus the hint in the beginning and the snapping. He doesn't really talk about it, and they barely bring up the fact Joffrey probably talked to him, which, by the way, talking about Peter reminds me how, despite also struggling, his friends only focus on Kit. I know he's the male lead, but geez, made me feel bad for him because I related to his struggle. Oh, and because this is in the 1910s, I would have loved more references to social issues that they had dealt with in that time period, because despite it being based on our reality, it is very peaceful in the series. There was only a slight stereotyping and very few references to sexism in the beginning, but it becomes pretty distant later on. It feels very modern despite the clothes and the technology. Not asking for it to be dark and awful, but some of the references of struggle they all would have dealt with would have been nice touch to give the characters in the world more depth that I felt were lacking. So even the good old Reddit agrees with me that it's frustrating. And I don't know, like, to me, it's a show that won't be a part of, like, it won't be a cult classic by any means. If the people of Reddit want to read the manga, go ahead. I don't feel any drive to. It didn't hit me the same way Vampire Knight hit me. Vampire Knight hit me, and I watched the anime 3 more times, and then I finished the whole series. I'm on Vampire Knight Memories. And the only reason why I haven't continued this part of the series is because I only have 3 volumes. Vampire Knight got me emotionally connected to the main leads, but also the other characters. And the writing in the manga is fantastic. And the lore and how deep it goes is incredible. I will talk about the manga once I'm done with this series. I will. Not just Vampire Knight Memories, but Vampire Knight as well. Because I only really barely touched on it on my last video, but I will talk about it. I will. I promise you, once I get some money, I will talk about this, because this one hit me like a train. But the said can't be said about A Love Through a Prism. I have no emotional connection. It didn't drive me to get to know the characters more. It didn't drive me to get to know what happened to them more. Albeit Vampire Knight has 2 seasons, and the way it ends on a cliffhanger, so you want to know more. And when you get into the manga, there is some like slow moments, and then it builds up back again. And it does that every once in a while. But it's good storytelling, and you get to see like all of the characters develop. Not just the main leads, but everyone. And the fact that this one is about art, right? I'm not an artist. I wish I could draw. I wish I could paint. I'm not good at it. I would have loved to see how the characters cope with their lives through art. That would have been nice. If they used the art as a motif, they used the art as a storytelling tool, it would have given me more of an attachment. But they don't do it. And it baits you that it's going to be like this wholesome slice of life. but it wants the drama, but it doesn't lean into the drama, and it doesn't give you like resolution. It kind of just drops it until it comes back to it later, which feels very irresponsible. If I had to rate A Love Through a Prism, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I'd rate it as 4. It's average, it's not really good. The only saving grace for this anime is the animation. I suggest watching it on mute. The story doesn't matter. The visuals are stunning. The story doesn't matter. It leads nowhere. Who cares? What you think about that happens in the beginning happens at the end. It's as predictable as it gets. And it doesn't commit to anything. It wants to be a comedy, but I watched it in dub. The comedy isn't that good. The over-reliance, I didn't even realize it. There was a time jump where there was a 6-month time jump even in the beginning of this series. It's 5 time jumps. That's insane. There should not be that many time jumps. There should not. It is the over-reliance of the time, the time jumps is insane. It speaks to how badly they really wrote this story. I'm not gonna go into who wrote the story, who wrote the manga. I feel like I trashed it enough to not name drop anyone. Just if you want to watch it. You'd be wasting your time, but waste your time. I suggest watching it in mute. It is beautiful. It's visually stunning, but it's no Violet Evergarden. It's no Inuyasha. It's no Fruits Basket. It's no Love is War. It doesn't even get to the upper echelon of writing. So, yeah, that's my take. That's my time. Thank you. I'll be back again later. Hopefully, I'm working on another video. This next one, we'll see what happens. All right. Thank you for everything, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.